Okay, so to give a brief history, what we have done earlier is the earlier session was like we had gone through GitLab, we have gone through Terraform, and what we have done a small project, or not a project, you can say a demo, where we use the GitLab pipeline and deployed over it a Terraform number of jobs. Okay, and we have seen how nicely the it was automated, and the Terraform jobs were being fired one after the other in a queue in a pipeline. And finally, we have scored our objective. That is, we wanted to mm, create our infrastructure of an EC2 instance, as well as we had done our S3 bucket. And now, so that gives gave us a good platform to start our learning on Ansible. See, when we do some infrastructure, that is, we have created our infrastructure, the architecture, the infrastructure, then it is the right time for some configuration management tool to be deployed as well, such that now on the server that has been already created or provisioned by Terraform over the pipeline, now we will use that infrastructure to install our softwares or do some configuration management. And for that, we will have to use Ansible. So that is the whole story. What we will do initially, because we will just have a look at our instance. So I have logged in as a DevOps internship. I'm in the Mumbai region on the AWS. And we are seeing that right now, I have no instances in the Mumbai region of this account, Kalkey training. Now, what I will do, I have already completed my project on this previous weekend. We have done this internship Terraform GitLab project. Okay. What I will do initially, I will create the infrastructure again. I will run the pipeline again, basically. Once I do that, after that, I will go and have a brief overview of Ansible, just a theoretical part, because, without the theoretical background of what Ansible is and what it does, it is no point in having the demo on how Ansible uses that infrastructure created by Terraform over the GitLab pipeline and uses that infrastructure to implement the application software or any configuration management activity. Is that fine? So that's why I will first of all like to create it. So I have gone into my GitLab and I have gone into my GitLab Terraform internship project, which the discussion of which we already have done the previous week. Any questions? What is our plan? What is our agenda today? So our agenda today is, I will not go through the discussion again because we had enough discussion over the 2 weekends over Terraform and GitLab. But yes, I will show you that right now, if I see my Terraform state, nothing is there. Your project doesn't have any Terraform state file. So if my state file is not there, basically it is to say that there are no resources, there are no desired resources that we have created right now at this moment. Yeah, we are going to do that. So what I will do, let me check if I have all my settings done. I will click on the settings. I will go to my CI/CD settings. And I will see the runner. Yes, this particular runner has been assigned to this project. So with it's a toggle button. That means it will be disabled if I click on this. But I would like to enable this runner, the GitLab runner. You might have got the concept why we need a GitLab runner, because to run the pipeline jobs, we need some runner that is provided by GitLab. And we have created our self-managed GitLab runner and we have enabled this on our project. So this is on. What are the things, other things? I will go back. Sorry. In the CI/CD. what I will do after I have seen the runner, I will check my variables. See, I have three variables created because Terraform needs an access key and secret access key to be able to go into access the resources or create resources over cloud, AWS Cloud. So these two has already been given. Sorry. This is the secret key and the access key ID. The password, that means to access the project, I need a project password. That is done. I mean, this to access the GitLab. The token for the project has also been done. So you can check. I have created a token and that token has this value. That's okay. I have not deleted because I wanted to use it. So to access from outside this particular project, I need to be authenticated with this token. And of course, what is the username? That is the username with which my account is created. That is, my username is Debashish-GIF. So that is, you can see also that I have created a variable for my GitLab to understand that the username variable is having the value Debashish-GIF. This is all the variables, the CI/CD variables. These are pipeline variables. Having seen that, let me close the settings. Let me go to the build and check if the pipeline, if there is any pipeline. Right now, I do not have any pipeline in my queue. Let me just have a look at a glance in the repository, in the code repository. So I have come to my code repository in the main branch. I have only one branch to work with. That's okay. In that, I have a Terraform folder and all the Terraform scripts. I will not go through the details again because it is already discussed. And also I have this is the heart of the core of the pipeline, which is you have a GitLab CI YAML, that is the script. So if I go there, if I go to edit it, just to check it in a bigger way, I will not do any modification. I will just let you know that fine. We have declared few variables, the address where my state file will be created in the HTTP. Or these are the various stages. You have already learned about GitLab, so I will not go through, but I have 4 stages. And each stage before script, it is something which I would like to execute before I execute any job, before I execute the script part of any job. Okay, Terraform validate. So that is one first job. Second job is plan, Terraform plan. The third job is to apply that plan. That means here we are actually creating all the resources. And then if needed, we will do the destruction. We will destroy, Terraform destroy. So basically all these things, it will happen. So 3 stages, validate, plan, apply, will happen automatically when I run the pipeline. Destroy, I will not like to do it automatically because I have created it. I don't want to get it destroyed automatically. It is only when my management says that, okay, I approve your proof of concept or whatever you plan to do. I'm happy with that pipeline. It's automated done, automation done. So now we can go for the destruction because we are now going to deploy it over into pre-production or maybe in the production. So in that case, I will keep it manual. So instead of doing further, delay, we will execute the pipeline. Execute the pipeline, and while the pipeline will work after it has created the plan, you will see that there will be one Terraform state created and created somewhere in the HTTP backend, maintained by GitLab. So it is very, very secured. Nobody can tamper with that state file. And that is a very important part of Terraform. Anybody, if I create a local Terraform, state, and the desired state, then what will happen? Somebody, if they have an access to my environment, they can destroy that file or delete that file or maybe tamper with something, some mischievous activity. It is not very secure. Even if nobody does it, but the thumb rule is we should not be a part of a risk. So we should keep that state file somewhere which is very secured, and let us give it to the GitLab. GitLab will pick up my state file, whatever I have designed, and put it into that address where you wanted to put that into that URL. That is only known by GitLab. So let us run the pipeline. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. I will go back. There are currently no pipelines. So I will say, please run the pipeline. See, there are two ways to run it. Either you can directly run the the CI/CD pipeline by going here, or suppose you go there in the repository, whichever you say. This I have enabled the auto. Uh, if I say edit, whatever, if you want to, if you had made some changes directly on the GitLab, on the Terraform scripts, or you have made a change over here and committing the change means you are saying that I want to commit it onto my branch. So immediately, whatever you do, if you make a change and put it into the pipeline, yeah, it is on the pipeline itself. So what will happen? The pipeline will be automatically triggered. And if the pipeline is triggered at that trigger point when you made a change or committed a change, immediately the pipeline will start building. Would you like to do like that? Suppose anything like you wanted to change the name, validate job run, something like that. You have changed the name. It doesn't matter. But then wherever the dependencies are, you must change everywhere. Let's say I make the job name as validate job run, and everywhere, all the job I put a run thing. Let's say I make the apply job run. So I've changed the name of the job. Oh, sorry, plan job run, validate job run, plan job run, and here also the dependency will be job run. So let's say this is that is the change that I have done. So what I will do, I will commit the changes. You will immediately see that the pipeline is getting built, but you see there is some problem, issues, failed. Okay, what I will do, I will now revert it back. I will not like to give this one. I will make it back. I just wanted to show you that some changes that you do on the pipeline will enable the pipeline to be triggered. I am now going back to my old code. I will pick up, yeah, because see the dependence, this was not correct because I had to make the change. Apply job run and this one. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. I will not do this. I've taken it, reverted it back to the old job name, and I will commit the changes. Let's see whether it's working or not. Yeah. So again, what is the plan job? Apply job, undefined dependency. So there must be some problem here. Ah, I have not changed this one. Sorry. Yeah, it should be fine. So I again commit. See, it will give you what are the problems. Now the pipeline syntax is correct.
I think Ernest has some question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me, please.
No, sorry, thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Ernest from South Africa, Johannesburg. I just
yeah.
wanted to ask a question, sir. Seeing that when we are creating the pipeline, it is
Yes,
automatically triggered, and
yes.
seeing that we are also using AWS resources. So my question would be, if this is automatically triggered, what are the implications in terms of costs to when you're using the resources, seeing that when we're using AWS resources, there are sometimes some cost implications.
Mhm. Yes. Now, to answer that question, it is a very good question actually. Now, this is I'm a DevOps engineer. Okay, my role is to implement uh, whatever the architectural design. That means there will be an architect, the solution architect, who is giving me a job, and those the solution architect will get a job from the higher authority, maybe from the project manager or from the project team, where they have discussed all the implications of cost, budget, everything, because we I'm working on a project. Now all this cost implication, the quality implication, the timeline implications will be decided not at the stage when I will start building the pipeline. Those things were already decided beforehand. That means uh, because the project needs some environment to be created with pipeline, automated pipeline with help of Terraform over the cloud AWS. The cloud can be anything because Terraform is cloud agnostic. It does not depend on the cloud, which cloud you are working with. Okay, so it may be your AWS cloud. It can be Azure, or it could be Google Cloud Platform GCP. Now, if I wanted to make one instance or 10 instances, 10 EC2 instances over the cloud AWS, now what will be the cost? What will be the size of the servers and how much data transactions will happen over each server? All these things were already earlier pre-decided. Okay, what will be the amount of traffic in and out of that server? All these things have been already designed and approved with the customer, with the business. Okay, therefore, it doesn't matter whether my pipeline, I mean, because I'm in the very lower rank of the ladder, the job will trickle down to me, come down to me at a stage when my developers are waiting for my a development environment to be set up. Who is going to set up that? As a DevOps engineer, I'm going to write a pipeline, write some scripts, and use Terraform, Ansible, whatever, the GitLab pipeline, CI/CD, and I will provide the environment which is part of the project. It is not saying I am doing something of my own. No, everything what I do is was planned prior to my starting of the work, and therefore I have created a development environment to be. Now the developers wanted to have something of a pipeline where every day they will be starting to build their code or to put their code or let's say it's a Java code or a Python code or a Laravel or say PHP code. Now whatever it is, they are every day putting onto that automated pipeline. So what will happen every day? A bit of your that code that has passed onto the testing team. So I will also enable a testing environment through my scripts, through my automated pipeline. So the development code will flow down to the testing team for further testing, and this cycle will be built. That means if the testing fails, yeah, thank you, it will come back to the development team. So this entire chain of activities, who is doing it for them? It is the DevOps guy. My role is to set up that environment. Now, for the sake of this internship program, I have just picked up a small portion of my activity. Like, let me go back. that I am going to build one CI/CD pipeline where I will create. See, my pipeline has already been started working. So what I'm doing in my pipeline, the first part of the job is to create a development server, let's say EC2 development server, and I will come to the next part of my job. So the first part was to check whether my Terraform scripts are fine. You validate the job. I've given a name to that job. So these are the stages: validate, plan, apply, destroy. And this is the pipeline. One after the other, the jobs will be fired. And did you see that once I made some changes? Initially, I wanted to give some change the name of the job. I found that no, somewhere I missed out. So I again reverted it back. Now it started working. I didn't do anything. Basically, I just manipulated few things here and there, but I reverted back to the earlier stage. But my pipeline, poor pipeline, thought that I was doing some changes, though I was not doing any changes. Anyway, I have triggered the pipeline, automatic pipeline. You see, first of all, my Terraform jobs or the scripts were validated. Then I have a blueprint of what I am going to create. In my Terraform scripts, I have shown the other class, the previous session. We have seen that we are creating an EC2 instance with a particular name, and that we have created a security group also within that Terraform script, as well as we have attached one, fingerprint with that EC2 instance, so that nobody without a fingerprint matching will be allowed to enter or to access my server. So that is one part. Another part was I have created S3 bucket with sort of a property of versioning enabled. Then I had made the bucket applicable for public access. So I have created some permission level changes into that bucket. All these things were there in the Terraform script. I will just see it, how it was done. This was all done for my development team with a certain pipeline. I can
Quick
have
question.
another pipe. Yeah.
Quick question, Debashi. So when you say fingerprint, is it the public and private key?
Sorry, can you repeat?
When you say fingerprint, did you mean the public and private key?
Exactly. Yes,
Okay.
yes. The public key in the first place, because I want to give an access to my. I will show you when let's see that my EC2 instance has already been created. When the pipeline job was fired, my EC2 instance was created, and therefore I will now be able to show you that what I was talking about, the fingerprint and the security group. Okay, just I'm going to show it. So this will give me a very good idea. Can you see that all these right signs are those which are automatically run? So the plan job was the Terraform plan has executed. That plan shows, and also one thing, since my pipeline has executed, let me check the operate. Operate is where I can check the Kubernetes clusters, but I have not created Kubernetes cluster right now. But I am very confident my state file has been created. Can you see? Earlier it was showing that now it is number one Terraform state. So you see that DevOps internship Terraform state. This was the state file name that I wanted to create. And this is created somewhere. I will never be able to access this one from outside because I do not know where GitLab has kept it securely. This is some sort of DevSecOps as well, security part of DevOps, where it's a mandatory thing that you should not, otherwise there is a risk vulnerability. It is a risky thing. If I had created my state file locally, if I had done it, then my SonarQube or whoever there is in the pipeline that is to validate my code will not allow me to let it go to the production, because that is a security vulnerability. So, but here what I have done is I have put that into some place in the internet, which is managed by GitLab. So I'm very secured. My state file, nobody can access this and nobody can tamper with it. That is one good part that we have achieved. Okay. So we are very good to see that our pipeline has fired and 3 stages and the 3 jobs have automatically fired, created. I will, this has failed because of the job names that I was trying to create. So I can delete this. I can delete this, delete the pipeline, and also because there was the YAML invalid. This one I can also delete. So to have a very clean slate of my view, I have kept only the success. The success is sweeter than anything, isn't it? I don't want to see anything red. I want to see everything green, fast. So what happened was, this was done 9 minutes back. Okay, I will just have a look. This was the pipeline with a job called validate job. Okay, it has passed. Then I will go back to the plan job. I'm just taking the log. And the plan job was also successful. It was planned. The architecture is to do 7 resources, to add 7 resources. Okay, it is not yet applied. It is just a plan. The job succeeded. We are going to create this internship SG as security group. Then we are going to bucket versioning, S3 bucket versioning we are going to create. Then we are going to create the S3 bucket public access will be created. Then the bucket ownership will be created. The bucket ACL will be created. And the S3 bucket will be created. And finally, my AWS instance, EC2 instance will be created. And I've given it a name as internship EC2 instance. So this was the plan. Let us go to the apply. So this plan, if approved by management, yes, then we go ahead to actually implement that. So this is the apply job of Terraform, where we see that the resources have been created. Yes, we do not get worried about what are the resource cost on AWS, whether it will be billed or not, or is it in the free tier. Don't worry. That is the business has to worry about it. They have asked me to do it and I have done it. Okay, that was the question. So you see, all the 7 resources have been created. You have added the 7 resources. Okay, how it was created and all those things. These are the log. But can you see there is no right sign over onto the last job, which is the destroy job. I will do it manual action, you see, because as I told you, these were automated. But here I stop because I do not have a permission. Once my management is fine, that the development team says that, okay, I have got everything, I may or may not. And why should I run this? Unless and until the entire project work is done, every testing is done, everyone is happy, and go for a pre-production deployment, then only I will destroy everything over here, which was built as a proof of project, proof of the concept. Otherwise not. So it is manual. It is stopping at here. It is not executed. If it has not executed, then fine. I will go to my, sorry, I will go to my AWS. I will refresh it. You see, I have just now, I have seen there was nothing. And once I refreshed it, because my Terraform has run from outside, it has gone into AWS with that access key, secret access key, and was able to create those resources. One of the resources, internship EC2 instance. That is the name of the instance. It is in the running state. It is of the size T2 micro. It is created in AP South 1A. This is the availability zone. AP South 1 is the Mumbai region, the Mumbai. This is the public IP address automatically assigned. And you see, I have created a security group by the name internship underscore SG. And can you see, this is my public key, the key pair, DevOps in dash internship. That is the key pair that I have attached. So I'm very happy that I could create this. So my project is successful. But the issue is, can I log into this instance? Yeah, okay. I have copied by a public IP address. I will like to use putty. I have created a session, DevOps internship, just for the sake of this demo project. I will load that session. I will just change the IP address because I want to, this is the new IP address. I will save it. The rest of the sessions, like what is the SSH key, authentication key, like I will show you. From outside, also, I am using this DevOps internship.ppk. Can you see the same fingerprint? Somebody was asking me about that public key. This is the fingerprint. It has to match with the name and also the content. So the encryption, RSA encryption is there. I have just converted it from the PEM to the PPK because that is a requirement of putty. Anyway, I would like to open it. I want to log in. Okay. Can I log in? Yes. Fantastic. I have logged in. I have logged into with the user Ubuntu and with the public key. It has authenticated the public key and it has gone inside with the user Ubuntu. Okay. And I have logged into my server. So what is this? Can anybody tell me? This is the internal or the private IP address. And how do I know the private IP address? 172.30.138.164. I can go and check it. Yes. Once a private IP v4 address, that is the always, this is not going to change. But every time you shut down and start up, this is going to change. That is the security part. But this is, you cannot access it from outside for security reasons. But once you log in, you are actually going to use this. This is the actual IP address of the server. 172.30.138.164. 172.30.138.164. So we are very sure. And you can say host name CTL. You will see that your static host name is this one. And it's an Ubuntu server. This is the AMI ID that you have created your server with. AMI ID is the Amazon machine image. That is the operating system. Anyway, I'm very happy that we have created this one. Any questions? If you have, please let me know. So, but we are missing one more thing. Did we not created our S3 bucket? Yeah, of course, we have created our EC2 instance. Also, we have created our security group. Let us go to the security group. You see my internship SG. This was created just now outside. We had already these two security groups, default and the launch wizard 3. But this was created through my project, internship SG, and managed by Terraform. And it was using the default VPC, of course. So this was also created. Now let me go back and find out whether or not my S3 bucket was created. Yeah, so I will make this. My S3 bucket was created. And if you say that I have not created it, maybe today, maybe it was created earlier. No, you can see the time. It is June 15, 2024. It is 21. It is India time. You might be seeing it, uh, but it is UTC. You can see UTC 5:30. So we are from the Greenwich Mean Time. We are 5 hours 30 minutes ahead. So it is time is 21:01:46, the Indian time, the Asian time, you can say. And if I go to this bucket, this was created just now. We do not have any. We have not loaded any objects. That's fine. No files or photos or anything. But you see that I have changed my bucket versioning to enabled. That is through the Terraform scripts. And you will also see the permissions, that the permission was block, all the public access block. Otherwise, it will be on. But I have made it off because I want to give it a public access. You will see if you go to edit, all the 4 blocks were taken out such that you are enabling the public access. You go down. I have not created public policy. That's okay. But my object ownership, I also have changed. So these are the part of the resources that we have created. Out of 7, S3 bucket was 1. S3 bucket object ownership was 1. The public access was 1. The bucket you have created, the bucket that was S3 bucket was 1. And finally, the group public access of the group, that is called the ACL, access control list, that was also done. And that was, you have created a list and the write. That means read and write permission was given for the public who can access from outside. Everyone can access. So we have seen the success of our project. That means we have created our S3 buckets and all the resources. Any questions? See, all these things were done through my Terraform script. Now, today's agenda is just up to this point. What we have discussed is the magic of Terraform over the GitLab pipeline, CI/CD pipeline, how it has created all those resources. Now, once the resources are in place, I will go to this. I've already logged in. Yeah, this instance is running, EC2 instance. Now, this is an empty server. Empty server means I have not yet installed anything. My objective is to check whether I have something like Apache 2. Apache is a web server. Okay. Now it is saying that no, right now you do not have any Apache 2 service. Or if you say which Apache 2, it is not giving anything. And also, if you want to check var www html, when you install any web server, there will be a web folder. Whether you are doing it on Java web server, web application, or your PHP, anywhere, you create any website, the particular web folder will be created. Now, right now, since we have not created or installed our web server, which is Apache, we do not see any folder created. Please remember these 2 things. We will see nothing when we say status. And if you wanted to go to this folder is not at all there. www and HTML. So our next target, next objective. What is the next objective? Is to use Ansible over a GitLab CI CD pipeline to install or configure a web server. By the name, what is the name of the web server? Apache 2. Apache. Apache is a big organization which has provided many softwares, very beautiful softwares. Tomcat is one of them, one of their products. Tomcat is widely used. See, Apache is a static website, whereas Apache Tomcat is a dynamic website. Anyway, our target is to now use Ansible to create or to configure. Ansible is a configuration management software. You will see, I will install from outside with the help of Ansible a software called Apache, and I will make it work over in this. So Terraform has created this resource, which is EC2 instance. EC2 instance is nothing but a server, a virtual server over the AWS Cloud. And now the next step is Ansible is going to install softwares on it. One of the software that we are going to do is, if I can do one, I can do hundreds. Not an issue. So can we start doing that? Or if you have any questions, there can be a session. Yes, Ernest. Okay, thank you. So I've just given a background of what is our objective and what we did. So that objective has been fulfilled. Terraform has created a server, and now we will see how Ansible is going to put in some software onto that. I'll clear the screen. Let us wait over here as logged in. But right now, I will go back to my So I will leave it. I will not destroy my resources. I will go back to my project. I will go back to another project that I have already created for you. So I have created one more project, GitLab Ansible Internship project. Let me switch over to that project. Similarly, here I have created a new project. I have given it a name as this is the slug. So whatever the project name is actually GitLab with the capital G space Ansible space internship project. But when you see the repository, the project repository, the project slug or the repository, you say it is all small letters with a dash replacing the space. There should not be any space. So this is the repository, because you see, you cannot give a space because it will be converted to a URL. So when you say it's a URL, this is the URL. So can we have any? So you see, or better, I will copy this and I will say notepad just to show you. My project repository is nothing but this one, this URL. So I cannot give a space. In a URL, you cannot have like this. Okay, no spaces. So automatically my slug has to be without any spaces, replaced by a dash. And this becomes your entire URL. That is the endpoint or the repository. You can say the project repository, but the project name is GitLab Ansible Internship Project. This is nothing but how you store your repository, that is the project repository, as a Git in the format of Git. Git is nothing but your GitHub, but here it is not GitHub, it is GitLab. Anyway, so in Ansible, you might be wondering, these things I can only go into details in my live classes, that means in my main sessions. Here, because it's just a, you know, an internship program, it will not be possible for me to cover entire thing. But I will tell you, I have a very nice, I will use the first few slides so that you can understand what is Ansible. Okay, let me go to, can everybody see my screen? I'm very not sure whether you are being able to see it. This screen visible? Can
Yes, it
everyone?
is.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
So,
visible.
okay, great. So I will just go through some important concepts of Ansible, saying that Ansible is an introduction. So let us see what and why is Ansible, why is important. What is Ansible? Ansible is an open source configuration management tool. Configuration management tool. It is not similar to what Terraform does. Terraform is a infrastructure as a code tool, or you can say infrastructure as a service tool, where you can create your infrastructure, provision your infrastructure. Whereas Ansible is a configuration management tool. So Terraform works very well with Ansible, or rather you can say Ansible can work very well with Terraform. Or it doesn't matter. You have created an infrastructure. Ansible does not need to know whether it was created by Terraform or it was used by CloudFormation or it was done by something else. Bicep. Bicep is one of the Azure sort of an automation tool for creating or provisioning. But anyway, I'm not discussing the thing. Ansible is a configuration management tool. Ansible does something which a Terraform or Bicep or CloudFormation cannot do. What it does very nice is all the installation, implementation of the software, configuration of whatever configuration that you need to do. There are lots of modules within Ansible that will, modules are nothing but the plugins, the APIs that will help you to achieve some task. Ansible is nothing but everything as a task. It is used for configuration management, can solve a wide range of automation challenges. Everything is, we are looking at automation. It was written by Michael Dehan, is a famous person. Like Linus Torvald was for the Linux. Similarly, Michael Dehan is for Ansible. Named after the, okay, you can leave that. So right now, who has acquired Ansible? Ansible is now being owned by Red Hat. You definitely have known the term Red Hat. Red Hat is the famous Linux company. But from 2019, who has taken over Red Hat? If you have any idea. Now Red Hat does not exist. Yeah, it has, the product name is there, the brand name is there, but Red Hat as a company do not exist. This has been acquired by IBM. So can I say IBM is also the owner of Ansible? So it is called IBM Ansible. Similar IBM Red Hat. Anyway, that is a business term. Ansible is an automation and orchestration tool popular for its simplicity of installation, ease of use, and what concerns the connectivity to the clients. So we can connect to all the various nodes scattered all over the world. So your Ansible server may be on in US, in your head office, New York. But through that Ansible server or Ansible software, you can deploy or you can configure, install. Let's say your company has said that I have 4 offices or 5 offices scattered all over the world. Like one office is in India, one office is in Japan, one is in Australia, one is in Bangladesh, one is in Pakistan. Okay, so these 5 places. Now I am a resource working in New York office as a DevOps engineer. So they have told me, Devashish, can you help us to install, say Java, a Java application or Java, first of all, the Java compiler, same version and everything. So Java latest version, say let's say 19, Java or maybe 17. Can you install Java 17 over an automation pipeline and deploy it onto 5 places? We have offices in these places. So I will ask for all the details of the server. That means I will ask, basically, I'm asking for the IP addresses which I will be able to connect to. So I will be using an SSH connection from Ansible, from the main server, to connect to that. I do not have to have any agents or any application of Ansible installed over onto the nodes of the 5 offices. No, I do not need. Ansible is that simple. Unlike Chef, there is another configuration, very famous configuration tool called Chef. But because of Chef being CHEF, Chef being very complicated when it comes to installation, when it's coming to maintenance, and when it comes to usage, Chef is very difficult. The learning curve to learn Chef is much more, it is almost 4 to 5 times higher than if you want to learn Ansible. Why 5 times higher? Let's say in our 5 sessions of 2 hours each, I can complete Ansible. 5 sessions. So in 10 hours, I can complete the full learning with fundamentals and advanced concepts in Ansible. Whereas if I had to teach you Chef, I will take almost like either 4 times, or I will take 20 hours, 25 hours instead of 10 hours. That is why I'm saying it is complicated. The learning curve, and even if after 25 hours also, I may not be able to complete it with my, I will only complete the fundamentals, maybe not the advanced. So industry has also gradually, why Oracle is more popular than Sybase? Can anybody tell me? Can just you try to answer that? Why one becomes more popular than the other, even if I can say that maybe Sybase has more features than Oracle? Why people have rejected, or why people means industry? Can you just give the hint, your concept of why things go popular or things go unpopular, or maybe not that popular? What makes it popular?
I think it is all about the user friendliness. One, two. I think it is also about the effectiveness of using the, because as a company, I wouldn't want to invest a lot of time teaching my employees how to use a
Exactly.
certain. Yeah.
Fantastic. That is the main thing. See, if my knowledge base in Oracle is 10 times or even 20 times more than the knowledge base in Sybase, then to get one person who is knowledgeable in Sybase, I have to invest a lot. I have to hire, and that person is, because he's rare in the market, the skill set of Sybase is very much scarce in the market. So you have to hire that person who is knowledgeable on Sybase with a lot higher salary. And also to find that person, you have to invest a lot. Whereas if the knowledge base of Oracle is so high that you just with one simple ad, you will get hundreds of application people coming with knowledgeable in Oracle. So that indicates how much popular that the learning curve of Oracle, at least to begin with, is far less than Sybase. The usefulness, the as you said, user friendliness. Uh, how many applications are getting ported? How many applications? Let's say if Oracle ports in almost like all the applications available, like Java applications, easily it can be portable. Whereas Sybase has few restrictions. It is very difficult to port in an application over Sybase. And so gradually, some software gets out of the market because you do not have catered to the need of the age. Okay. So similarly, Ansible has become so popular with all the organization that nowadays very few organizations, if you compare the number of advertisements going for Ansible with respect to Chef, you will be surprised, or you can get an idea how popular Ansible is. So I say there is, the big five. Big five means the big five animals of Africa. It will be lion, rhino, elephant, the cheetah, and the buffalo. These are the big five. Or maybe I do not, may cheetah will be there or not. I am not very sure. But I think one tiger is there, which is cheetah or a leopard, basically leopard. So these are the big five in the animal world. So if you have gone to any forest in Africa, like let's say Kruger or to Serengeti or to Masai Mara, okay? And if you come back saying that I have only seen three of the big five, then you have not completed, isn't it? You have some regrets that I have spent lakhs of amount of money, so much of money. I went to Serengeti, but Masai Mara, but I could only see out of the big five, I can only see three of them. So you will be a bit sad. Similarly, in DevOps, it is said that there are 7 tools, 7 fives, seven big seven, or better to say, big seven, that if you know those big sevens, you are sure to get a DevOps job. What are they? First of all, you need to have a knowledge on cloud, whether it's AWS or this thing, any cloud, AWS or Azure or this thing. Then you need to have knowledge on Linux, of course. So AWS, Linux, and then you need to have knowledge on Git, the GitHub or the GitLab. So I will say Git and GitLab 1. So 3. And then you need to have knowledge on Docker, the containerization tool. Then you need to have a knowledge on Terraform, then Ansible, and finally Kubernetes. So how many? I have counted it 7. So can I say you have to know at least the 7 of these tools to ensure that there are hundreds of tools, 20 and 30s of tools that is recommended, but no, not possible humanly. So, but if you can cover these 7 big tools, you have done your job. You will get a job anywhere or somewhere, at least. So why Ansible? Because of all the advantages. It is very popular, and the Google Trends also endorses the fact the blue line is the Ansible, and that was also a trend that was given in the year 2020. So in this another 4 years, the chef, the red line that you see is it has gone down, whereas this has gone up, the blue line. Now, a bit of architecture. What you do is, you see, you will only install Ansible on a single server, on any server. That Ansible, you as a user, you can connect to over the public or the private cloud. Okay. And you as a user or a DevOps engineer will create an Ansible playbook. Ansible playbook is a YAML file which you write to create uh, some task. The task is configuration task that you want to say these are the various hosts or nodes separate. Like I told you, if there is this is New York, the main server where you have installed Ansible, and these are the various parts of the server. Just 1 minute. These are the various parts of the world where you have your offices and where you have your nodes, which will be having some tasks to be installed. Some configuration had to be done every now and then. So you will write the playbook to enable those tasks, deploy those tasks over into those separate machines or distributed machines. What will you do? You will find those machines or the servers from the inventory. There is an inventory file through which you will get the IP addresses or the domains of these particular servers scattered. So your playbook will consult this. And once you use the modules of Ansible are very, very important. Modules are like Ansible is nothing, but Ansible, what it does, it just uses the plugins and the modules to speak to do the task, to accomplish those tasks. The modules are so many variety of modules. There will be everything will be done through the modules. Modules are small programs, like the copy program. You want to copy a file from here, from this server to this server, or all the servers. So you do not need to do anything. You just call that module of copy module of Ansible. Your work is done. You want to install a software through the, let's say all these machines are having Ubuntu operating system. You want to install Java application over the Ubuntu, or right now in our project we are doing the Apache server. Apache server. So we are going to install Apache. So we are going to use the app module, APT. APT is the package manager for Ubuntu. I think you may know, but whatever, even if you don't know, doesn't matter. So we will use the app module of Ubuntu to install those softwares. And those will call the plugins and the API and will do the tasks. It can be a networking task, or it can be a host. So basically, you will, as a user, you will write an Ansible playbook, put it onto this one, onto the server where Ansible is installed. Anywhere you do not need to install any Ansible agents. No need. Unlike Chef, you have to install the Chef agents over each and every node. And Ansible is a push model. That means you push your tasks onto this. Whereas Chef is a pull model. That means your tasks need to be deployed over here, but then it is sort of asking the hosts are going to pull the task over there. So it is very much dependent on the nodes. So what happens if these nodes go down? So there are lots of integrations. So these nodes have to be part of the cluster that is for the Chef. So it is not very difficult, not very simple like Ansible. I'm not going to Chef, discussing of Chef, but because I know both of them, Chef as well as Ansible, I can understand the difference. It is much more simpler. It is a push model. So it is very simple to push a job over there. So the architecture says you are the master guy. You are a go-to guy. You know Ansible. So you are a master. So you write a playbook, Ansible playbook. That playbook will take help of the inventory to understand which are the hosts that you want to deploy your job. In turn, the playbook will use modules and then use the SSH. And okay, one thing more, all the nodes and on the server, you have to have Python because Ansible works on Python. This is one mandatory requirement. So I cannot say my hosts will not have Python, but I can have the Ansible configure any job over there. No, I need to ensure that you have Ansible. So whenever SSH Ansible goes to connect to any of the hosts, Ansible will ensure that it can gather an information that whether Python is installed or not. That is one of the tasks. If it finds it can connect with SSH, that's fine. But if it does not find Python installed, it will come back to you saying that, sorry, sir, I cannot install my job over there because in this node, there is in the Indian server, there in the Indian node, there was no Python installed. So please, first of all, you install Python over there. Yeah, you will take my help. You will install Python over there and then you come back. And good news is that all the servers in Ubuntu, whether it is the server in New York or in India or this and that, Australia, Japan, everywhere Ubuntu comes with inbuilt Python installed, bundled. If not, you will simply connect it, not through Ansible, but connect it over SSH, like you can do, connect it there, install Python. That's all. And once install Python is there, then fine. So entire thing will depend on Python, whether it is there on the server as well as on the nodes. Any question? Now I will go to my demo. Basically, I have given you some of the basic idea of, I cannot cover so much of details, but I think I was able to convey the message that Ansible is a configuration management tool. It can connect to the hosts, that the nodes, and through the inventory file. Inventory file will list all the places where you want to connect, all the IP addresses. And finally, you will be able to deploy those jobs, put in that jobs or execute the jobs onto the hosts. So the playbooks are like an instruction manual. You will write this. How to write a playbook and all these things, we cannot do it right now. Just understand that we will need full-fledged live sessions to cover Ansible. It is, but it will at least need 5 sessions of 2.5 hours to complete, to learn Ansible. It is not very, very tough. It is not at all tough. I mean, it's very simple to learn. Okay, but I cannot cover it in one session of internship. That is not a purpose of this internship at all. It is just to make you aware that there is a tool called Ansible, which I'm going to deploy it over a GitLab pipeline, and that is going to install my Apache server onto the server that we have configured, provisioned. Is that part clear? Any questions that you may have? Yeah, please. Ernest.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm just I don't know whether it's a question or it's just a pondering thought.
No problem.
Seeing that we'll be deploying this in different servers, does it mean that we have to then modify our script to accommodate those servers? Because previously
Yes.
previously we were deploying it from one server. So like this time around, we have to cater for different servers now. Does it mean that we have to then modify our script?
Yeah, very good question. You do not need to modify your Ansible scripts. What you do, you will just modify one place. You will modify the inventory file, because that inventory file is the file. Inventory file is the file where I will get my IP address of the server that I want to connect or the host that I want to connect. So what I'm doing, it's a text file. I have given one tag called all:\vars. This we have to learn. So these are the Ansible variables. Ansible, you can say the keywords, Ansible SSH user. What is the server that we are going to what is the server user that we are going to log in? We are going to use Ubuntu. What is the private key file? That is the DevOps internship.pem. See, here we are not using PPK. Just 1 minute. We are not using PPK because we are directly using server to server communication. So we need a PEM file. And when did we generate this PEM file? When we created that instance through Ubuntu, through Terraform. Correct? Just now we have seen that DevOps internship is the private key file. Ansible connection is over SSH. Ansible user is Ubuntu. Ansible sudo means super user. It will assume a role of super user, and Ansible become a super user sort of thing. That means, and I have given a tag called Mumbai server. But do I have the IP address over here? No. Do I have the IP address? No. So what I'm going to do, why did I not have the IP address? Because that is what I will generate automatically. Not generate, I will try to find out automatically. So I will use AWS CLI. The AWS CLI is another tool provided by AWS. So I will use that CLI to give me the instance EC2. Describe EC2. So this is one of the AWS CLI command. From outside, I can query what I'm going to query. See, when I'm doing something on the fly, on the runtime, when I created this, do I think of a situation where I do not have an access to this, the console. From outside, how do I know what is my IP address? So if you are doing something in the runtime that is on the dynamically on the fly, I do not need to hard code this. I could have easily done it hard coded. So I could have copied that. I could have copied that and I could have easily put that into over here. Then my inventory file will directly give me that this is the IP address. What happens tomorrow when you shut down your server and then you start it up? This IP address is not going to remain the same. It will change. So is it advisable to hard code it? Never. And you cannot connect to your private IP address from outside. This is not going to change, but you cannot connect it from outside. And Ansible is outside entity. It will like to connect over the public IP address, but the main problem is public IP address is not static. It is dynamic. It is going to change, and you cannot bet that the server is not going to be shut down or the IP address is not going to change. In that case, I have a solution. What I will do, but did I answer your question first of all?
No, you did. No, you did, sir. You did.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I forgot your question. What was the question?
My
How do
question
you
was,
access? Yeah. How do you access your
yes,
this thing?
from outside,
Right.
because now you're speaking about different servers, and different servers have different IP addresses.
Okay. Yeah. So if in Mumbai region of India, I have one particular server, and then I can have another one in say Japan, Japan server. I just giving a tag name just to categorize them. Then I have a list of servers in Australia. But I am not going to hard code it. Yeah, if you know your architect says that you must use Elastic IP, and Elastic IP is one resource that I can create over AWS, which is where you do not need to be unsure that it is going to change every day or maybe after a few days. Elastic IPs are created because you want to assign a permanent IP address over to the servers, but that is a costly part. Yeah, it can, if you are doing it through your company, your organization is a rich company, they can create elastic IPs for each of the servers and can be assigned. So in that case, you can hard code it. You can hard code it, whatever. And this one is this, and this one is this, or you can have more than one. So you can have another one, 23.23.24.25. So whenever Ansible is going to connect, it is going to first, it will do sequentially. First, it will go to Mumbai server. It will connect to this IP address. Then it will go to, that means this is one host. Then it will go to Japan server in this group and go to connect to these two hosts over Japan. And similarly for Australia. But in my case, I do not have so many things because it is not needed. And I will also, in this project, simple project, I will not also hard code. I will get it dynamically through AWS Cloud, AWS CLI. Are you getting me? It's a very beautiful concept. So what I did, I will go back, leave the page. I will use the Ansible CFG. Ansible CFG is the configuration. Okay. Configuration file, which Ansible, before connecting to the inventory, will understand where my inventory file is. So I'm saying, Ansible, do not worry. You consider me, Ansible CFG. You read through this. I have specified my inventory file will be in a particular folder in this project, and that folder is the Ansible directory, inventory ini. So that is the file where I should get the IP address of the host. Host key checking false. See, whenever you want to log in to any server, the first thing that it will ask you whether you want to match the private key, the fingerprint. But that is an interruption, isn't it? In an automation, you do not need anyone to be interrupting your flow. Otherwise, it will stop at that, asking whether you give me a permission to check the host key, yes or no. You say yes. So, but it's a manual activity. Why should I get? So what I did, I say host key checking, make it false. You do not need to check the host key. What is the remote user? Ubuntu is the user. You ask for the password? No, I am going with the host key checking. So that is a private fingerprint check. It is not going to ask for any password. It is false. And what is the private key file? Yes, that is the private key file. So all these things I'm mentioning in the configuration file. And the rest is privilege escalation. That is, these are the privileges that you must be having. So it is escalated privilege. You must be a root user. So you have the extreme privilege. You can do whatever thing. That is, I am giving you the permission. So this is one of the you see, this is the file. This is the RSA private file. RSA means the encryption logic. This is the fingerprint, digital fingerprint. Do not tamper with this file. So I have got this and got it into my GitLab. So you can see a key. This is the private key, DevOps internship.pem. And finally, I come to, so okay, Ansible. So in this, you have the inventory, the Ansible CFG, and the playbook. Playbook is, as I told you in our small learning that we had, you see, you write a playbook, Ansible playbook. The playbook is nothing but the tasks that you want to execute. What I'm going to execute, first of all, this is a YAML file. YAML is nothing but YAML. YAML stands for yet another markup language. Yet another markup language. It is based on JSON. JSON. JSON is JavaScript object notation. And what is that object notation? It is nothing but a key value pair. Key colon value pair. See, on internet, you need to have a data exchange format. And the most popular data exchange format, earlier it was XML, now it is JSON. It is very simple, it is very readable, it is very legible, and it is also very efficient way of transporting or transferring or transaction over the internet. It's simply key value pair. You have a key. Here, what is the key? Hosts. A colon. What is this? It is the value. What is serial? What is this? Key. Serial one. What is the task? And within the task, there is another key. And within the key, another key. So these are the JSON type of notation. Finally, under this key, you have the another key name, and then the name is Apache. It takes a bit of learning, but once you learn it, you will be very fine. And you see, these ones are very, very strict. You have to follow certain indentation, YAML. YAML is very strict in when it comes to indentation. So this is the main, key task. Under this, there is another task. So there will be a gap of 2 spaces. So fine, initially you start with dash, dash, dash. You say hosts all. Now, when you say all, you have left it on Ansible to pick up the inventory file. And in the inventory file, whatever the host IP addresses mentioned, you will connect to all of them. Is that clear? If you do not mention, or you can mention, you can say Mumbai server. Did I not give this tag? That will also be fine. But so under Mumbai server tag, whatever list of IP addresses you have, it will connect to all of them. So why not you give it like all? That's okay. Serial maximum fail percentage. That means you will tolerate up to 90% of. So 10% of failure is acceptable, but not beyond that. If there is 11% of successful failure, it will be a failure. So it will not connect any further. It will try till you are 90% success. Gather facts. I would not like to gather facts, because gathering the facts is also a part of like checking whether there is a Python or not, and this and that. I will tell you, just now I have installed my server, isn't it? My EC2 instance. Can I check whether Python is already, who is my operating system? So you name -a. My operating system is Ubuntu, and Ubuntu comes with Python. So can I verify that? Python 3 dash dash version. Yes, Python is already available. Did I install Python anytime on my new server? No, not at all. Python comes inbuilt because Python is that popular. And what we are doing, we are using Ansible to connect it from outside, and it will gather the facts, and it is all no need to waste any time on gathering the facts. I will say false, because I already know that Python is already there, right? Remote user is Ubuntu, and that. What are the tasks? One task, there are two tasks. Simple, 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 very, very simple. You first install Apache and then you start Apache as a service in the background. These are the two tasks. What is the first task name? Install Apache 2. What is the module we are using? Remember, we have learned that Ansible does everything through modules. You see the modules. And what is the one module? That is the app module. So what is app module? App is a command line interface, which is app provides a high-level command line interface for the package management of the system of Ubuntu system, Ubuntu Linux package management. So with that help of this, like you know, Chocolate is a package manager, is a package manager for Windows. So with the help of Chocolate, you can install any software. So APT is the package manager for Ubuntu. Can anybody tell me what is the package manager of Red Hat family, Red Hat Linux? Any idea? If you know Linux, you will know Yum. Yum is the package manager for Red Hat Linux. Okay. So I am using an APT module for installing some software using the package manager of Ubuntu, because my user is Ubuntu. I am using Ubuntu operating system. What is the name of the package that you are going to install? I'm saying Apache 2. I can also give the version. I'm saying latest. So I'm not worried about what is the version. I want the latest version of Apache to be installed. Oh, I do not need to do it, because what I did, I used the state. What is the version? The latest version I want to fetch. But before I install it, please update my cache. What I'm doing basically is here I'm saying sudo. Why sudo? Because it is not a root user, it is Ubuntu. Who am I? I'm Ubuntu. So I'm saying sudo apt update. This is my updating the cache. Basically, I'm doing the same thing over here. I'm saying update cache, yes. So it will before installing Apache, it will update the repository, apt repository. So it has, see, it has the packages, 77 packages can be upgraded. So update cache, yes. Force apt-get, yes. So you can use either sudo apt or sudo apt-get. So you can force a get. The same thing I will do, but I'm forcing the apt-get. So you can, so this is a module, and these are the parameters or the arguments inside that module. So basically you have installed Apache. What is the command actually that is internally executed? Sudo apt install Apache 2. I will not do it, because let my my Ansible do this talking for me. -y. Why -y? Because it is automation. I do not need to be interrupted. And finally, once you have installed Apache, after that you need to restart it. Is that fine? So another, what is this? Similar to app, this is one module service. So you are basically, Apache is a service, and you are updating, restarting the service. Basically, it is doing like this. Everything will be command. It will be converted into an internal command. Sudo systemctl start Apache 2. So instead of start, it is saying restarted. If I say restart or start, but here I do not have Apache, so it cannot restart. Cannot fail to restart Apache 2 service because Apache is not installed. Here you have already installed Apache, so therefore you can restart through the module service. Service is a module. So enough of my learning. Let me go back to my code and sorry, to the repository, leave the page. And finally, I come to study my GitLab CI YAML. I will quickly go through it and then I will execute. Edit in the pipeline editor. Similar to what we have learned in our Terraform GitLab session, this is just another thing that we have declared the Ansible dir, which is a variable, which is nothing but we are saying CI project dir, which is the system defined project directory. So this is nothing but GitLab Ansible internship project repository. Under that, there is a folder called Ansible. So I'm creating that variable. Image, I'm using Docker as the image, and Docker is the service that I'm invoking is the Docker in Docker, DIND. So Docker runs the pipeline. Docker is also going to see some images that I'm going to include that is also getting run by Docker. So Docker in Docker. This we need some learning when we learn in our main classes. I have only one stage, and that stage name is inventory run. I am going to run the inventory. So that is the stage. And I am putting this, don't worry about this. You can see as this is a before script. Before I actually go into that job, inventory Ansible run, this is a job name. What is the stage where this job will be run? It is an inventory run, inventory run. I am using the before script. So every whatever the environment variable, the access key, because it is going to access my AWS Cloud. So it must access through the access key ID and the secret access key, similar to Terraform. The host key checking should be false. So I have given it many more. It is not needed because we have already defined all this thing in the Ansible CFG. That host key checking should be false. Anyway, I'm going to that CD Ansible directory. So I have gone to that directory. I'm echoing. So these are all shell scripts. Echo, CD, export. These are all shell commands. That is the beauty and simplicity of, GitLab. I could have written Python as well, Python script, but I am comfortable with the shell script and it is very simple to use it. Why to go into complication? I would like to make my life very simple. I do not need to use Python script, but Python script also you can do. It's up to you. Or you can run Groovy script, Groovy also, or anything. It's up to you, whichever you feel comfortable with. In the stage inventory run, I am using a job inventory run Ansible run, and I am using an image. This is an image that I have created. So I can go to my this is the Docker Hub. I'm going to my Docker Hub account. It will take a bit of learning how you will create your images and put it into your Docker Hub. So I have created one image called Ansible AWS CLI Ubuntu. So there are three softwares in one image. One is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the base image, which is the operating system. On top of it, I have installed AWS CLI. And on top of that, I have installed Ansible. So this image is a combination of Ansible, AWS CLI, and Ubuntu. So with the help of Ubuntu, I can run shell commands. You see, I'm running shell commands. These are various shell commands, cd command and all those stuff. Sorry. Where is that? And with the AWS CLI, I am going to run the image. AWS CLI will help me to run something called AWS. This, can you see AWS EC2 describe instances? Why? Because I want to get hold of my public IP address for this instance. Internship EC2 instance. Is it not the name? Let me check. Yes, internship EC2 instance. That is the name. That is the server I want. There can be hundreds of server, but I want to identify with that name of the instance. And here I have, sorry, here I have given that I want to pick up. Can you see the screen? Let me go up. Yeah. Can you see the screen? That what I'm saying, export public IP. Pub IP is the variable, the environment variable. It is the shell variable because it's a shell command. So who is giving me that, helping me to execute that? It is Ubuntu. And for this AWS command, who is helping me? AWS CLI, that image, that installation, that container where this image is running. And who is doing that image and containerization? This is the GitLab is doing that containerization with the help of Docker on the pipeline, which is working on the runner. So AWS EC2 describe instance. Now I will just quickly copy this. I know you are getting a bit bored, isn't it? But let me show you one beautiful thing. Learning is so beautiful. The knowledge is such a power. So what I'm trying to say, if anybody asks me what is the IP address, public IP address, will I be able to give that? What is the public IP address? What is the public IP address? Will I know without going to my AWS console? Yeah, if I go to my AWS console, I can go look at here and I will see, yeah, 13,201,79,202. But what if I do not have any access to my public access console, the console? I can use this one. What I'm doing is I'm exporting a variable public IP, and this backtick. So entire command, AWS CLI command, I'm putting within the backtick. So just let me first go and find out the result. Oh, I have not installed AWS CLI. So anyway, AWS CLI, if I install it, it will be showing me. What I'm doing is I'm trying to describe the EC2 instance using the filters and the name, the tag name of the value is internship. So this is the instance that I'm doing. And the region is AP South 1, which is Mumbai. I'm trying to grab the public IP address. Public IP address means I'm interested. See, when you see this, you will find so many details. Okay, the instance ID, the public IP address. So this will be listed out in a character, but I'm interested with the public IP address. So there is a line which will give me the public IP address. I'm gripping it out. And from that line, I'm printing the second value. That means using awk. But this you need to know. Awk said how I'm getting that value. So basically, I'm going to get this value by running this command. I'm going to get this value. So if I say finally, it will be exported. Export pub IP. If I say equal to this, I press enter. And if I say echo dollar pub IP, what is the value that is going to show? It is going to show me the public IP address. This is nothing but this entire command is bringing me this value. This is the public IP address and storing it over into the public IP. And that is what you are echoing. Similarly, I have done the same thing in my editor, that I have put in that value into public IP, and I'm echoing this. This is a shell command. I'm putting that into inventory.ini. I am appending to the very last line. What was the last line of that file inventory.ini? Whatever it is, I'm adding that IP address. So is it not going to add it? Go to your code, go to your repository, go to Ansible, go to inventory.ini. Can you see it will be added in the very end? Do you agree? What will be added to the very end? The value stored inside the public IP. So isn't it good? So you are dynamically on the runtime, you are getting this value. So Ansible will go and look into that IP address and then it will connect. Is that part clear, everyone?
Yes, it's clear.
For that, I need to know something of AWS CLI. That's okay. If I don't know, I can know if I learn. So after that, once my inventory file has been created dynamically, not dynamically, only that last line was created. So last line with the IP address was created. I changed the mode. I make it a permission 644. 644 is read, write, read and read for the inventory ini. You need to know a bit of Linux. All these things we learn, and you are saying echo, and here is the Ansible command, Ansible version. I am interested to know what is the version, and then I am echoing, running Ansible scripts, and finally I am running the playbook, Ansible playbook. Run the playbook 1.yaml, and you find the inventory. That identifier is inventory.ini, because you want to go and connect to your public IP address of that Mumbai region of Mumbai server. And I'm saying manual. If I say manual, it will just stop me. It will, I will manually. So if you want me to take this out, I can do that. I want to make it run automatically when I say commit. So it has started the pipeline. There is only one job. Let me see. You see, what is the job name? What is the stage? Inventory run. I have only one job. That's okay. I just wanted to see. This is Ansible is doing. So let me go and check what is happening inside. I'm the log file. See, Ansible is using the Docker machine executor, because the pipeline will be executed with Docker. The GitLab runner is on Docker. And you see there was a runner installed and assigned. So in the CI/CD, I have seen the runner in the settings. That is the runner I'm using, which is using Docker machine. Okay, so you are seeing that export Ansible config, and you can see using Docker image, whatever the shell script, export, GitLab access token. These are the pre-script, before script. So echo public ID. So can I see that this is the IP address? It has dynamically got it and put it inside the inventory.ini. And with the help of that IP address, Ansible, this version of Ansible is going to run the Ansible script. It is installing the Apache 2. That is one task. It has installed, it has changed. That means it has successfully installed Apache. And then it started the Apache service. Can you see? There was no error. Job succeeded, because you have also started the Apache service. Can you now link up all these things which has happened in the meantime? I will check. So my job has passed. If my job has passed, What does that mean? That means you have installed Apache. That was your target. So let me go there. Where shall I go? I will go over here. Now, what will I do? I will say which Apache 2. Apache. Do you see now it has created an executable called Apache 2 and it's stored under user sbin. Earlier it was not giving anything. And also I can see system CTL status of Apache 2. Can you see the Apache is now installed and it is actively running in the background? The service, Apache service. Apache is a HTTP server. And do you know what is the port on which the service should be running? Oh, I will install the net tools. Okay. So I will check netstat. Can anybody tell me where the HTTP server should be running? The service should be running in which port? Let me use sudo. Do you see any HTTP service Apache? 80, port 80. It is listening with the PID. PID is the process ID. And what is the program? Apache 2. So are you fine that Apache is running on a port 80? And that is the HTTP port always. What is the SSH port? It's 22. What is the HTTP port? It is 80. What is the HTTPS port? The security SSL security enabled HTTP? It is 443. These are the few famous ones. Anyway, so what I did, I have installed Apache through Ansible over the GitLab automation pipeline, and it was now listening on port 80. The service is on. So if the service is on, can I access? Okay. Another thing is CD. I will say it earlier, it was not there. www. Let me check whether the web folder has been created. Yes, it has been created. And can I check it? What is there? Index.html. What is index.html? This is nothing but the Apache page, welcome page of Apache. Apache Ubuntu default page, it works. So if that is true, so can I use the curl to, for now it is localhost because it is on the server itself. And which is the port? Isn't it 80 where your Apache is running? Port 80. So I'm accessing the port 80. Yes, your page is displayed character wise. Okay, now I will go to my this thing. So can I say HTTP? Oh, of course, I need to get the IP address. Now, which IP address should I get? Should I be concerned with whether this one or this one? Whether the public IP address or the private IP address? No, private IP address I cannot access from outside. I have to use the public one. So go there and say HTTP public IP address : 80. Do you see your Apache page has been accessed from outside? So that means you have completed your project. What is the project? You have created through the Terraform over the GitLab and GitLab pipeline, the infrastructure, which is the EC2 instance. And with the help of another project, or you can do it in the same project, you can have parallel or maybe sequential pipeline, where you first of all complete Terraform and then you do the Ansible. So first of all, install the configuration, the infrastructure. and then you install the application or whatever the configuration. Am I successful in doing that? I've showed it with two different projects, but in real life you will do it in same project. Yeah, of course. Either through, no, not, it cannot be parallel, because Ansible should not work before your infrastructure has been created, isn't it? It's very simple. uh, um, the father will always come before the child. That is the way. Or the mother will always be before the child. So Ansible will only come after Terraform has completed its job. That's okay. So you can do it in the same project, but with the same pipeline. So the first 4 or 5 jobs will be from Terraform, and then few jobs will be from Ansible. So isn't it that we have completed our project successfully? If that is so, I will thank GitLab, I will thank Terraform, I will thank Ansible to help me accomplish my job. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Devashish, for your this awesome session. Fantastic
Thank you.
explanation. I think even everybody, including me, and we do have a pleasure to have some of our students who have done our training, the main paid training with us, and they care to join this session as well because they value the information. Thank you all. So we'll take another 5-10 minutes to, if you have any other question regarding DevOps, job hunting, or any other aspect, feel free to unmute yourself and ask any question. Next week, Friday, we are going to start our AI classes. AI that journey will continue for next 1.5 months. So if you have any questions, how we are going to register for that paid course, feel free to ping us. We'll happy to help. Other than that, please, we are at the very verge to complete today's session. So unmute yourself, and if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Good day. This is Ernest. There's a question actually I posted on the charts, but I think it has part of it has been actually answered. But I was wondering, in the event that we run the installation, because in the scripts that I saw that we were making at a tolerance level of 90%. So I was wondering, let's say like because we're looking at a real life situation where probably it might happen that maybe you lose connection of some sort, or you lose power temporarily, and then possibly your installation is interrupted momentarily. So my question was, in the event that we have to rerun the installation, is there possibly a way that in our scripts we modify it in a way that possibly we clean up first the previous installation, where, because I saw when you're speaking about disabling gathering of the facts, is that the part where we insert the part where we say we enable the facts and then we define what we're gathering during that period of time before the installation?
Okay, a fantastic question. You were worried about if in the midway there it encountered, because it's automation, so you do not have much of a control. That's why you have rigorous testing to be done. But let's say even if you are in the testing period or in the pre-production, you encountered where Ansible was running, trying to install the software. You had said that a tolerance level of 10% is there. So if it exceeded, so it was trying to connect to that server remotely using SSH connection. But somehow, for some reason, there could be a permission problem of that, as simple as that, a permission problem on the public key, the private key, the fingerprint. If you had not given 0400. That means you had only given a read permission to the owner of that uh, this thing, then it will not work. Ansible is very, very sensitive. It is very, very secured. It is saying that no, I cannot use that public key where you have given permission to others and the group as well to read. No, I want only the owner of that PEM file, that private key file. It is only the owner who can read, not even write on it. So if you can give me that level of security, that level of permission access, then only I will be able to connect. I will be able to match, authenticate. So you get an error because of that. So does it mean that you have to clean up the server? I mean, you have to drop the server and recreate from the Terraform stage? No. There is a very popular term called idempotency. IDEMPOTENCY. Idempotency is something which can see that it can have a look at whether what you are trying to achieve, whether it is already in the desired state. If not, then it will install. If it is already there, even if it's partial, it will help you not to repeat the step. So if something has failed after 80% of thing, only the last portion was not there. So what will it do? It will not, it will say that the installation was failure. So it will just roll back the entire whatever till the 80% something it has done. It will wind up. It will roll back everything that it has done because it was not complete. It is not atomic. So unless it has achieved the atomicity, it will consider it as a failure. So next time you do the same Ansible step, you run the pipeline again, you will see you have rectified the problem. You have given the permission as 400 to that PEM file. Now, Ansible does not have any problem in connecting and authenticating. So do you think that Ansible will start from where it has actually done the partial thing? No, there is no partial thing. It has rolled back. So it is going to. But if it has done, say there were two installations. One, the Java installation, the Apache installation, and then the next was Java installation. So Apache installation was absolutely fine. Okay, but when it wanted to start the Java installation, it was not finding the Java home, a path, some environment variable it was not finding, and therefore it was not being able to install Java. When you rerun it, does that mean it will reinstall Apache? You tell me. Now you are rerunning because now you have understood that, yeah, the Java could not be installed because it did not find Java home in its path, or it does not find the environment variable Java home. So you did rectified it, and then you restarted the pipeline. Will it reinstall the Apache or not?
I think it won't, because that part of it is
it won't.
Yes, it won't.
Because that part is already done. So why should you clean up? Ansible is intelligent enough to understand that if that state that you wanted to achieve is already there, I should not repeat the step again. It will save you some transactions over the net, some latency, some performance issues. So it will simply skip it and save your time. It will go to the Java installation part because Java was not installed. Thank you. So that is called idempotency. DevOps tools are all idempotent. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir, you've answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other question, or should we can wrap up today's call? If you have any question, feel free to ask.
we have too less this thing, but the session was very interesting and there were very good questions. I appreciate. Thank you for that.
Okay, then I don't think we have any other question. Then we can close today's session. Again, thank you all for joining this call today.